What's going on, y'all? I am your fitness leader, TJ, and welcome to another episode of the ADDICTIV podcast, where I focus on just providing you motivational content for your week. So this week, I kind of want to focus on, helping you guys and encouraging you guys to keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Whatever your goals are, whatever it is that you're striving for this year, don't overthink it. Oftentimes, we want to be at the finish line, or we want the house to be built before we even lay out the plan. Because I center everything around kind of fitness and that lifestyle of fitness. I've had a few individuals, hit me up on social media about, kind of wanting to do better this year with not only their fitness, but just their nutrition. They're asking for advice and things of that nature, right? And that's great. I'm glad that you have the mindset to want to pursue a healthier lifestyle. I will tell you, whatever your goal is, do not have the house built before you have the blueprint. All right? What I mean by that, you know what you want. You've seen the model. You know what you can be. But you need to begin to make small adjustments to your lifestyle. You need to begin to scale out your blueprint, right? So I'll take you guys that want to lose weight. Have an eating schedule. And from that eating schedule, decide what foods you're going to eat during that eating schedule. That's 2 steps right there. Eating schedule, foods you're going to eat during that eating schedule. Meal prep, meal planning. Right? Once you're able to sustain the habits of a eating schedule and proper meal planning, then you can get into the whole maybe identifying your macros. Learn more about your macros. Eating behaviors. Do you find yourself hungry at certain periods of the day? Understanding the types of food that you're consuming. What can you replace those unhealthy habits with healthier habits? Healthier foods, healthier snacks. Those are the things that I would kind of lean and look towards when it comes to the fitness side. Picking a fitness plan. Finding a time, designating a time where you focus on yourself. Are you working out? Do you have 30 minutes or more to work out? Or are you at a crunch time where you only have under 30 minutes to work out? And then choosing that activity that's going to work best for the time that you have set aside. Are you going to work out in the morning or are you going to work out in the afternoon? Are you able to work out at lunchtime? Are you planning on working out every day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 3 days, 4 days a week? Keeping that simple. Figure those things out first. And then as you are able to build up a habit and a pattern of these small changes, then you can begin to build upon the foundation you've set already. Over the course of the week, I've made a few posts on social media, Facebook and Instagram, just little basic questions about fitness, investing, just kind of seeing what a lot of my followers are doing, what they're saying. Just polling, right? One of them I asked just the other day was about investing. Do you invest? But I think I was hitting more towards the financial side because I feel like this is a lifestyle. When I say addictive focus on the total lifestyle, right? So I put out there a poll that who is investing, and I was surprised that the majority did not invest. So then I asked, what is it? What is it? Why are you not investing if you're not? What's your reason? And I got a few. Some don't know how to invest financially, right? And others are waiting for maybe to pay off debt, or they're trying to get some other things in their life aligned before they begin to put money aside or invest into, their retirement or into whatever it is, right? Whatever the excuse is or whatever the reason is why they're not investing. I tell you this again, there's what I said on social media is there's a time factor involved when it comes to investing. Okay, you ever look back and said, man, if I knew what I knew then, what I know today, I'll be so much further ahead. We've all said that because I've said it, right? And that's why investing now is important, so that later on down the road, you're not saying, man, I wish I had invested then because I would be so much further ahead now. That's why we invest now. We invest today. Okay? So if you don't know where to start when it comes to investing, again, technology is such a wonderful thing in this world. I mean, it has its benefits, right? It allows us to be so much more informed than we used to be, say, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? There's just a vast amount of information that you can pretty much read up on anything, but it's up to you to kind of decipher what works for you and what doesn't. Okay, so for you guys that's not investing your money, I say this, don't know where to start. I'm not a financial guru, but I'll tell you where I started. Right. So when I joined the Navy, of course they offered this great thing called the TSP, thrift savings plan, and when I got into it, there was my RDC, my recruit division commander, my homeboy, we like retired Master Chief. We both from Jacksonville. Great guy, right? He's like my big brother. Back then, when it came to the TSP and stuff, it's like no one really knew about it. They knew it exists, but they couldn't tell you about it. Like no one taught us about the thrift savings plan, right? And this was before the whole Roth IRA, Roth TSP, that stuff didn't exist yet, right? It was just traditional. Everything was traditional, and we just knew it was like retirement. But I'm like 19, 20 years old. My RDC, he says, hey, just get it. So I got it. I got the thrift savings plan, and I think I had like maybe 1% going in there because I was an E1. I wasn't making a whole lot of money. So I was an E1, and I was putting in 1% just to have some money going somewhere, right? And there was talks about there's tax benefits and stuff. Like, I don't know nothing about that. I ain't pay no attention about that. No one was really teaching it. Look, all right. So then when I got to my first ship, I had a mentor. He was a CS1. And he was like, yo, because I had goals. I had financial goals where I wanted to like pay off my debt. And I wanted to like save more money or whatever. I was an E nothing, probably E. I think it was like E2, E3 by this time. And he said, yo, are you putting money in your TSP? I was like, yeah, I got like 1% going in there, He was like, people play the stock market with their TSP. I was like, I don't even know nothing about the stock market. Like, okay. He's like, yeah, man, I see people flipping their TSP all the time. They play the stock market, and they be borrowing against their TSP and all that other stuff. I'm like, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. And I ain't got enough money in there to be doing anything crazy or flipping or borrowing against. Ain't no money in there. I ain't got nothing in there. So as I'm getting older and advancing a little more, making a little bit more money. I think I was an E5, and I kind of made the decision that, all right, I'm a re-enlist again. And I was getting re-enlistment bonuses, and I took my first re-enlistment bonus and I bought my first house. I invested that money into this property. Still got it to this day. And it was probably one of the best investments I made as far as real estate goes. Because now I've had that house since I've had it over 10 years now. Over 10 years, right? I don't know if I'm going to be staying in Virginia, but if I sell that house, I will get a good sum of money on that house, right? Plus the house that I'm in. So, good. So I made some smart decisions when it came to, investing in real estate. But I go back to the TSP. So a lot of my military friends, service members, if you are in the military, right? And even those that are possibly going to join in the future. Well, right now, the way it's set up now, like they automatically invest into your TSP. Like they automatically set you one up and they invest in it for you, right? And I think that's a great thing. Now they got the whole blended retirement. I actually switched over from I was grandfathered into the high 3, and then I switched over to the blended retirement. So for you that are looking to start investing, even if you're not in the military, if your job has some type of retirement plan, I would look into that. Like I would start there, right? Especially if you don't know enough about it or whatever. Figure out and learn your company's retirement plan. It's the easiest. In my opinion, it's probably the easiest way you can invest something. Investing something is better than investing nothing, right? So figure out what your company's retirement plan is and invest in that. Or you can do your own research, open up an investment account, something that will allow you to have like a IRA, an individual retirement account. I personally go through Fidelity, but there are other companies out there like Ameritrade or E-Trade, or you can even do stuff like Robinhood or Acorns, or apps like that. There are apps out there that will allow for you to put money away that will invest it into the stock market, and it's better than allowing your money to just sit in a savings account, and it's earning under 0.04% interest rate, right? You're not making any money on the money that's just sitting. So I personally would start with an investment account and then set up a budget. Determine, how much money you can put into this investment account, right? Sometimes I'll say if you were saving, let's say $200 a month. Let's say you could save $200 a month. I would take $100. I put $100 in my savings account, and I'll take the other $100 and place it into the investment account. Okay. So then what do you do with that money once it's in your investment account? Well, that investment account will allow for you to purchase stocks or to purchase mutual funds, right? I do both. I purchase stocks and mutual funds, right? Because I don't have the time to read up on every single company. I don't have the time to be following and tracking and everything. Like I am a busy man. I don't have the time, right? So I hope that the things that I'm interested in, the things that I have a passion in, the brands and the companies that I use frequently, i.e. Apple, right? I have an iPhone, I have a Mac, I have iPads, I love the company's products. So instead of just being a consumer and buying their products, I'm going to also buy some stock, invest in that company, right? I also use Microsoft products, right? At work, I know, me being part of the military, all they use is Microsoft products. So I'm going to invest in Microsoft as well. And there's probably a whole bunch of other sub companies and stuff that is associated with Apple and all that. But I don't have time to be doing all that research. So you know what I do? I'm gonna buy a mutual fund. I'm gonna buy a mutual fund that encompasses all of these technology stocks. Right? I'll do my research because there's gonna be a fund manager, and that fund manager, I want to see like how long he's been managing funds and what's the 1 year return, 5 year, 10-year return. Fidelity, they have reports like Morningstar reports where they talk about how good this fund is. It has ratings and stuff like this. That's all part of the research that I do. I'm not going to go into depth in that because that's something that you should take your time and do for yourself. Like I said, my investments may not necessarily work for you, so you have to do what works for you. There are applications like Robinhood and Acorns. I personally use Acorns. I don't use Robinhood. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with Robinhood. I just don't use it because I'm already using Acorns. Acorns is like it's like that second savings account for me, right? I don't use it as a savings account, but I treat it like a savings account because what I'll do is the same with how I said earlier, like if I'm going to save $200, I would take $100, put it in the savings. I take the other 100 and I put in an investment account. I'll take 100 and I'll throw it in the Acorns. I do Acorns because I don't log into it that much. And then I also they have this thing called automatic roundups. Like for every dollar you spend, or for whenever, like, it's attached to my debit card. So whenever I go to the store and I purchase something with my debit card, it'll round it up to the nearest dollar and it'll invest that change into that account. So then at the end, like once I get to like $5 or $10 or something like that, it'll just deposit into my Acorns account. And it just does automatic investing for me. Like I can go in there, I can set my investments to be aggressive, and it'll do all the investing for me. I don't really do much of anything, right? Sometimes I may go in there and adjust it to make sure that if anything has changed or is anything I can adjust or take advantage of, I'll do that. But everything is pretty much automatic. So that's why I use Acorns. So you can use kind of whatever you want. Use whatever works for you. Like I said, everybody's situation, everybody's scenarios are going to be different. So you have to figure out which works for you. Budgeting, all that, right? Take it a step at a time. Make 1 or 2 adjustments and then go from there. What about education? What's a new skill you can learn? I'm not sure what everyone's industries are. No, we have various industries. I'm in the military. There was one time I tried to go into an officer program. I had this CW05, this Warrant 05 on one of my boards. I think at the time I already had like a bachelor's degree. I didn't make chief at the time. And I was on the fence about what I wanted to do in my career. Because I kind of was over the Navy. I'm not going to lie to you. I was over it. I felt like everything I came into the Navy to do, I already accomplished it. I really came in to, create a better life, get myself together financially, and to get my education. Because I went to college before I joined the Navy, and I didn't like it. It was not for me. So I ended up going into the Navy for the sake of just changing my life around. I got out of Jacksonville. I needed to just get my finances in order. I wanted to finish school, and then I wanted to just kind of figure it out from there. I already was married. I already had one son at the time, and I pretty much did everything I wanted to do. But circumstances didn't allow me to get out right away, or just get out, right? Even after I went through the transitional classes and pretty much was doing everything to set myself to get out, circumstances didn't allow me to get out. I stayed in. So I sat on. I went up to be a limited duty officer, right? LDO. And on my application, the CW05, he goes, yeah, hey, I see you got your bachelor's degree, and that's great. But why you don't have a master's? I was like, what do you mean? I never had any intentions to get a master's degree. I got my bachelor. That's all I need. I got certifications. He's like, yeah, but you're talking about competing against other people in your field who also wants to be an officer. What are you going to tell the board? Tell the board you're done? He was like, at least enroll. He's like, I would like to, even if you don't take any classes, at least show me that you're currently enrolled into furthering your education. I was like, man, whatever. Okay. And he tore me down. When I say he beat me down during that board, I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good after I walked out of that room. But you better believe I said, you know what? He's right. He's right. Why am I limiting myself? Why am I going to make this harder? Like I said I want to be an officer, but is it because I want to be an officer on my own terms? Is it because I didn't make chief? I was ready to be in khakis. Why? I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for my family. Why wouldn't I take these? Why wouldn't I make these small changes so that it can make myself look better? Invest in myself a little more. So that's what I did. I called the school that I had got my bachelor's from, called them up, and I said, hey, I want to join your master's program, but I want it to be something that I feel like that's going to benefit me for when I separate from the military, because I still was on the fence. Didn't know what was going to happen even after that the last enlistment. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I enrolled into a master's program, took one class, and then took another. So it was like small, like everything just happened gradually, right? So they enrolled me into the program. I took one class. Once I was done with that class, then I took another class. And then here we go, I think maybe a year and a half later, I was graduating with my master's degree. And I had no intentions of pursuing my master's. And I tell you that story because all it takes is one time, one class, one change for you to set yourself up, set your future up for the better. I almost feel like if I did not enroll, if that CW05 did not tell me that, if I didn't make up in my mind and say he's right, go make that change, enroll into that master's program, take that one class, I would have never got my master's degree, and it probably would have affected me for when I was up for chief. I probably wouldn't have made chief, or would have been delayed making chief even further. I felt like at some point I was going to make it, but when I was going to make it was the question. And I felt like getting my master's degree set me up. It set me up. That one instance set me up. Because that year I made Sailor of the Year. That same cycle, I made chief. Set me up. And I'll tell you that. One change can be the cascading effect that will change your life. So I hope I was able to encourage you all to just keep it simple. Make one small change. Make one or two small changes. Set your foundation that will allow for you to achieve whatever it is that you choose to achieve this year. I am your fitness leader, TJ, and thank you for joining me for another Addictive Podcast episode. Enjoy your week. you.